Hi, and welcome back to Cutting Through the Red Tape with LaShonta. I am your host, LaShonta. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in to the show today, and for tuning in to my very first show on last week, which was on my birthday. So I really appreciate all of the views, and thank you guys so very much for following me. So, today we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about safe spaces, and what it means to have a safe space. And do you currently have a safe space? So I just wanted to um, open up with understanding what it means to have a safe space. So this past week, I had the opportunity to speak with several children or several students about safe spaces. We discussed what a safe space or a person would look like. And it really broke my heart to know that so many students or so many people never even really heard of what a safe space was, or never even thought about having a safe space or a safe person. So I think it's very important that we start paying attention to um, finding places where we can feel safe, confining in people that we feel safe with. I think it's very important to be able to be in a place or a position where you're able to release freely. And that's exactly what a safe space is, a space where you are without judgment, you have no fear, you're able to release all of the emotions and the anger and all of the things that you have on the inside, that has been probably have been there for years. I know I was talking to the students last week, and I was telling them that it's a great idea to have a safe space because if something happens or just a little problem arises, we get to a point to where we just blow up. And it's not blowing up on that particular person or that particular incident. It's blowing up because of all of the other things that we have held in for so long. And we don't really realize we shake it off or we brush things off in that moment because we don't want to express that feeling in that particular moment. And this is where it comes in to have a safe space, a safe person, or a safe thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a space. 9 times out of 10, it isn't a person, because of the society that we live in. We confine in others, others confine in others. And so that's the reason why a lot of us don't have safe spaces or we don't have safe places, because we are fearful of confiding in someone who may not have our best interest in heart. So I encourage us today to find a safe space or find a safe person that we can come in contact with that will help encourage us, that will help build us, that will not tear us down, break us down, or make us feel guilty for how we are feeling. I know in ministry it's very difficult, because a lot of people say, well, that's a preacher, or that's a minister, or that's a bishop, or that's an evangelist. But we have feelings also. We have things that we deal with every day. And it's not fair that because we have a title or because we are in a certain particular role that we don't have the option to display our feelings. Jesus displayed his feelings throughout the entire Bible, but we don't talk about those things because we want to talk about love and light in the Bible, but we don't want to talk about the time when he turned over the table or the time where he asked the soldier, "Why did you slap me?" Those are all feelings and emotions. The time when he asked for the cup to be passed over from him 3 times. And then he ended up saying, "If your will be done, allow it to be done." So Jesus had emotions. We have them also. And this is the reason why we as a human race need to figure out or find out where we can safely release those angers or the anger and the emotions. Okay. And so I do want to give a scripture on today. 1 Peter 5:7 says, give all your worries and your cares to God, for he cares for you. And he means just that. He does care for you. He will take everything that you have, your burdens, your anger and your frustration, and he will place them on himself. That's a way to release. But it's good also to have someone in a human form that you can release with as well. Someone where you can speak to and talk to, cry with. Most of the time, those people will not even give you feedback. They'll sit there with you and allow you to cry with them, or allow you to do whatever it is that you want to do in that space. I know a lot of people like to go out to the beach. That's a way to release, for me, myself anyway. Also, a lot of people like to go to the woods and scream and yell and whatever it is that you decide to do to release whatever emotions that you have on the inside. That would be considered your safe place or your safe space. No negativity within this space, no criticism, no judgment. If you are in a space or in a place or with someone and they're judging you or they're criticizing you or they're telling you that you should just get over it, or you need to figure out a way to bounce back. Those are not your safe spaces. Those are not your safe people. Those are not the people that you need to confide in. You need to be in an area where you are free to release however you decide to release, with no judgment, with no criticism, and with no one to give you negative feedback, unless you're doing it in the wrong way. And then that's another subject for another day. But with that person or within that space, whenever you come out, you should be better than when you went in. You should be in a place to where you're thinking clearly, your head is leveled, you can hear much clearer, and you're able to move forward in that space or out of that space. So it's very important that you understand uh, what a safe space will do for you. It's not a place where it's going to hold you. You're not going to be holding grudges once you release. You're not going to want to be revengeful whenever you release. You're not going to want to harm anybody or, do this get back or backlash um, from that releasing. Um, is I sit here and I think about all of the times where I should have had a safe space, or I should have had a safe place, but I didn't. And through those times, I released in the wrong way. And so now that I sit back and think, like, oh my, if I had just spoke with someone or just let somebody know, I'm struggling in this area or I need help in this area, maybe they could have pointed me in the right direction or given me some type of advice, for me to release whatever it was that I had going on at that particular time. Let us take another moment to understand what a safe space is. Webster's definition says it's a place intended to be free of bias, conflict, criticism, or potentially threatening actions, ideas, or conversations. And I agree 100%. It sounds like it's just pretty much a free zone. You're able to release any type of way. You're able to say anything without any type of judgment. So I 100% agree with what the definition is saying. It says, but what does that look like on a personal level? For anybody, it would look like whatever it is you feel at that particular time. So for me, sitting quiet, allowing my thoughts to help me move forward or move past where I am at that particular time. I have to think critically about what it is I think I can do and what it is that I want to do at that particular time. And we often have to take the time to pay attention to our thoughts, because our thoughts can take us places that our body doesn't want to go. I know sometimes it's hard to understand, I think this way and I feel another way, but what would be the best option for you at that particular time? When we get upset, oftentimes we say things that we don't mean, or we do things that we don't mean. So when we're in that safe space or in that safe environment, we understand that we can say whatever we want to say at that particular time in that space without hurting others, without hurting their feelings, without hurting them physically, without releasing all of those emotions upon that particular person or that thing at that particular time. So that's why it's so important to have a safe space, because it gives you time to think, it gives you time to react. Whether it be negative or positive, but it gives you that time frame to get yourself together and to get your thoughts together. And I think it's very important that we as young adults and adults take the time to really figure out if we have a safe place, if we have a safe person, or if we have a safe thing. And that will save us a lot of heartache. It will save us a lot of time. It will save us a lot of pressure. It will allow us to enjoy life better. It will allow us to be smile more, because we're not burdened down. We're not weighed down with all of those things that have hurt us from our past to the present, and even into the future. Some of us sit and think about what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen a month from now. I was just recently told by a friend of mine, and they said, enjoy life for what it is right now. Don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow, because that's going to upset you, because you don't know. You don't have the power, to predict the future. So why not just enjoy time for what it is right now? And for a moment, I couldn't understand that, because I'm thinking I have to prepare myself for the future. So I need to think about what's going to take place in the future. But we don't, because the Bible tells us to live for today, for tomorrow has not even come. And I think that's very important that we release those emotions and get in a space where we can feel human again, so that we can enjoy life. Because at the end of the day, what's the saying says? The day is going to end. And that's all we have. At the end of the day is going to end. And then tomorrow is going to be a brand new day. But if you take those emotions with you from yesterday into your tomorrow, then your next day is going to be worse than the day before, because you're already bringing those emotions with you into your future. So, safe space, safe person, safe thing. I encourage you to find it, and to do what you need to do to release all of your emotions, whether it be joy, whether it be sadness, whether it be anger, whether it be hurt. Release people as well. Take the time to call out those names. Now, I'm not telling you to speak bad or to condemn somebody, but call out those names that have hurt you. Call out those incidents or those time frames that always tend to take you back to that place. Those are the things that you have not released, and those are the things that you are continuing to take with you. Like Erica Badu, bag lady, bag man, you got too much stuff, and you have to figure out how to release those things off of you, so that you can be much lighter, so that you can be much brighter. I was told that, whenever you're not weighed down as much, you look free. You look lighter. You look like you have released a whole lot of things off of you, and it clears your skin. It makes you smile more. You're able to effectively communicate with other people. You're able to enjoy life. Your children are affected. Your parents are affected. Your church family are affected. Those people that come in contact with you in everyday life, they are affected by what you are carrying, and they don't even understand that you are carrying so much, like the weight of the world on your shoulders, when literally all you have to do is just talk. That's all you have to do is just speak. And even if you don't feel like you have someone that you can confide in, the Bible clearly tells us in First Peter, he cares for you, and he want whatever it is that you're carrying. He want whatever it is that you're feeling. He wants to take on that burden for you. But we refuse because we want get back. We want to be vengeful. We want to hurt them the way that they hurt us. Why? When the only thing it's going to do is to continue to hurt you. I think somebody said, not forgiving someone is just like drinking poison and expecting them to die. When in fact, the poison is only killing you because they're free and they're moving on with their life. But yet you're still stuck in a place because you don't understand that you have to release those things. You have to get those things off of you and walk into your newness. I said last week that this is a brand new year. This is the 8th month. So we should be in a process of releasing those things and turning it over and allowing us to be new. Those things that happened, they happened. Those people that were there, they were there, and no longer there. So we just have to continue to move forward and understand that we are in a better place, and we're going to create safe spaces for other people. Be you. And don't worry about what someone else think or say. I've learned on this journey that not everyone is equipped to be a safe space. And that's okay. This is also called a boundary. So boundaries and safe spaces kind of go hand in hand. You have to understand the person that you are trying to create a safe space with. Is that person willing? Is that person capable? Is that person in a space to where they can handle whatever it is that you are releasing off of you? So we have to be very, very careful with having someone be a safe space for you if they are not in a good place themselves. Most of the times, these people have boundaries. I know there's several people that have said not today. And that's okay, because I understand when you're saying not today, you're saying that you don't have the capacity to handle what I am releasing on you. And that's perfectly fine, because if you can't handle what you need to handle within yourself, then you're not going to be able to give me the best advice, or you're not going to be able to effectively listen to what I have to say. And then all that's going to do is cause a bunch of confusion because then, we're not going to know where to go from there. Okay. So a boundary is technically a wall between you and whatever it is that's coming against you. And you have the option to either continue with that wall or to bring it down and allow the person to come over to your side. And it's good that we all need to have boundaries. That will protect us in the long run. Whenever you say, I can't, physically, I can't, mentally, I can't. I just can't be there for you at this particular time. That is a boundary. Or I've asked you not to come into this space with me at this particular time. That's a boundary, and that's okay. But God has specifically designed safe spaces and people for us. We just have to figure out who those people are, and we just have to figure out when God is calling us to these people, or God has called these people specifically to us. Also, with creating boundaries for ourselves, once we release in our safe space, we need to come out of that space with a boundary. Understand what I'm telling you. Once you have released yourself in your safe space, when you come out, you need to come out with a boundary. You need to allow or tell these people that have brought you to this safe space that you can no longer tolerate or deal with the things that they are throwing or giving you. And that's okay. Those people will understand, or they better understand, excuse me, that at this particular time, now that I have released the things that were so heavy on me, I'm no longer going to accept the things that you continue to give me. And that's something that we have got to stand on. I never really took the saying stand on business serious, because it was trending and everybody was saying it. But when I began to sit back and think about what standing on business meant, it means you stand on your feelings, you stand on your boundaries, you stand on the word no, you stand on what you want to do for yourself and what you are going to allow for yourself. And it's okay. It's okay. If they don't like it, then they can move forward, and then they can try the next person. And hopefully that person has a boundary as well. But for you in 2024, we're all standing. And we're standing on business, and we're standing, letting other people know that the time is up. You know, I have a boundary, and this is the boundary that you have to stand on. And we have to teach our children what boundaries are as well, mentally and physically. There's a lot of people, that are doing things to our children that they shouldn't have no business doing. But if we don't teach our children what the boundaries are, and safe spaces, then they're not going to want to talk to us, or they're not going to feel safe enough to open up to us to let us know what is going on around them, or what is going on with them. And that's very important. This is why I come to you today, to let you know that it's okay to have a safe space. It's okay to have a safe person, because once you get yourself healthy, then you will be able to help those that are around you. And it's very important. This is what's going to make America great again. Is if we are a better people, if we are a better person, then we will be able to extend that to our people that are around us. So shout out to all the safe spaces out there in the world. Shout out to the people who has made themselves available for the people all across the world who need a safe space, who need a safe person, or who needs to go to a safe place. So shout out to you. You are very special. You are very appreciated, and you are very loved, because God has instilled something within you to handle those people who are hurt, who are damaged, who need help, and they don't realize that they need help. Shout out to you for caring for those people, for loving them, for not telling their business, and for not putting their business on display. Thank you for allowing those people to be in a judgment-free zone, for allowing them to let their hair down and to express who they are without the backlash of being who they are. Thank you for your love and for your kindness. And thank you for the things that you have done and the things that you would continue to do. It's very much appreciated. and very much needed for a time as such as this. So much is going on in the world, that people don't really understand that they have people there for them, that they do have someone that will care for them and that will love them through their situation. And I was lucky enough to find a safe space, a couple safe spaces that I feel like will better me and will help me along my journey. And so with that, I will be able to create a safe space for someone else, or a safe space for my children, or a safe space for my family members. And so I'm just grateful for that, learning about boundaries, learning to say no, learning when to go and when not to go. So all of these things I have learned, and I understand that at the end of the day is going to continue on and it's going to end. So whether you're a part of it, or whether you're a part of it physically, spiritually, mentally, whether you're praying for someone, whether you're showing up for someone, being a shoulder to cry on, being there, supporting that person in whatever endeavor that person has, you are appreciated, and you will continue to be blessed just from that, just from your obedience of being that for that special person, or for that specific person. I call myself special all the time because, as you all know, I will worry you, worry your phone, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the answers whenever I call, and you know how I do. I got your back the same way you got mine. And I really, truly enjoy talking to y'all, and being able to sit here in front of this camera. Growing up as a child, The Lion King was me and my brother absolute favorite movie. We had the VHS. I don't know if y'all remember the VHS, but we had the VHS tape and we played it so many times that the film was coming out on the side. So in honor of that, I do have one that says Hakuna Matada. And that basically means we have no worries. I absolutely love how it flows with what I just talked about. You have no worries. And then the scripture says, cast all your cares and give your worries to him. So at the end of the day, after you have expressed your feelings in your safe space, you have no more worries. So go out this day and know that you're going to create a safe space, or get to your safe space and release everything that you have. And then after that, have no worries. Don't be worried about it, because it's all said and done. And that's going to end the show for me today. So a shout out to 810 Studios for having Cutting Through the Red Tape with LaShonta. Y'all be good. Peace.